All right, this is a video showing you how to comment on another student's video. I'm starting out with this view basically showing you the bar charts that I made, or showing you the situation that I made. I've got a video of my situation here, and these optional screenshots are really helpful for clarifying exactly what's going on at each moment. But what I absolutely need to include is these descriptions, and most important of all, this bar chart here. I've got my descriptions, I've got my bit.ly link, and I've got a bunch of different bar charts for these different moments. Now, you're already seeing by looking at this that this bar chart is not correct. For example, I started with 0 boxes, and then I go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. That's definitely not right. That's intentional because I want to give other people some good mistakes to comment on. We'll see how that works in a second. The other thing I've done to make this as easy as possible for people who are making comments for me is I've started out by highlighting some things, and I've made some comments of my own. So if we want to actually add a comment, we can just choose something, like for example these 4 things here, and then we go up to comments, or we click this little thing that says add comment, click this icon, and we can add something here that says these are all X's. All right. Anyway, I'm not gonna actually add that comment because I already made a comment there for moment A. But notice we can select specific things that we are commenting about. So notice this is a comment about moment A. This is a comment about the system. We can see the system is highlighted there. And this is a comment about all of these boxes. This box, this box, this box, and this box, and all these. So by selecting more things, we can start a conversation about any one of those items. So now that we can see that I've started some ideas here, I'm going to switch people. So I'm no longer Joseph Kramer, your physics teacher. Now I'm Joe Kramer, another student who is commenting on that work that this first guy has done. So now I'm checking out what these comments have made, or what this person has said, and let's say I disagree with this completely. I am going to reply to this comment that this person made, and before I do, I'm going to look at the commenting guidelines and the question/comment stems. So I can already tell that this is wrong. I know that we can't start with 0 bars on a bar chart. We got to start with some number because that number has to stay constant every time. But instead of just shutting this down and saying, hey, that's wrong, you can't start with 0 bars, which would be shutting down this conversation, I want to push the discussion forward with my comments. So maybe I want to phrase my comment like this. I can see that, however, I disagree that. Let's try. I can see that the biker starts out not on the screen, but I disagree that there are 0 bars in moment A. And let's actually even go back. Maybe I can push for more here. Or maybe I can even make a suggestion. Let's try this. What would happen in your bar chart if you started with more chemical energy? I'm making a suggestion here, but I'm making it in a way that pushes the conversation forward, that asks this person a question. So I'm going to hit reply, and notice a conversation has started between Joseph Kramer and Joe Kramer. If I, as Joe Kramer, want to comment on something totally different, like for example, maybe I want to start a conversation about all of moment E, I can select all of moment E and start a comment here, and I can say, let's go back and look at this. Maybe what would happen in your bar chart if, comment, what would happen in your bar chart if the biker went down another hill? and was halfway down at moment E. For example, I'm opening up the conversation with something totally new and interesting to talk about. I'm going to hit comment, and I've contributed to this discussion a little bit here. I've made a couple comments. You're going to make more than a couple comments when you do this, but you're going to do it on everyone in your comment group, not just one person. Let's, for the sake of argument, go back to Joseph Kramer again. And I'm checking on this. I'm seeing that Joe Kramer, this other person, has left me some comments. I can respond to this and continue the conversation. So I could say, that's a good suggestion. How many bars would you suggest? And so on and so forth. We're continuing the conversation. Maybe at this point, a third person comes in and responds to that, and we have a record, kind of like a Facebook post, or like any kind of conversation, like a text message or whatever like that. We have a record of the conversation that has happened that lets us go back and think about how these different people have been corresponding about these things. By the way, if you have other thoughts about things, like if you wanted to talk about like which moments people chose, you can always select those things. You can make a comment about those moments, or if you have just like general thoughts about anything at all, you can make those comments here. So you can select that box, hit comment, and start a conversation about those specific things. When you are trying to make excellent comments, look for things that other people haven't commented on. Look for questions that have shown up over here that allow you to make useful contributions to this discussion. That's the way you're going to get the best score on this contribution cog skill. These high-level question stems here are designed to help you show the best contributions you can to this discussion. So make sure that you're trying to use those so that you clarify the discussion and invite more comments from others as much as possible. So we can see, now that this conversation has gone on for a while, that a whole lot of people have said a lot of things, and this has given people a chance to show their contributions to the discussions. So let's take a moment and just look back at the look fors. Level 2, level 3, level 4. What we're looking for here is people's comments, clarify the discussion, and invite more comments from others. If we look back at the actual rubric for the contribution cog skill, which you're being graded on for this, we're looking for people to attempt to move the discussion forward by asking and responding to questions. Level 5 means you're expressing original ideas clearly and persuasively and attempting to deepen the discussion. Let's take a quick look at who's doing that really effectively here. Notice there's a lot of questions being asked. Some good mistakes up in front, but we've got some people saying some things like Ms. Smith here says, like, asks a question about the objects that have been included in the system, which has caused this person to change this to add the Earth into their system because they realized that was important. Again, maybe Joseph Kramer here, maybe he knew all along that the Earth was important, but he intentionally left it out to encourage conversation. That's part of the reason why the mistake game is so interesting. Again, Ms. Smith is making a connection to a rocket ship here, and Joe Kramer says, like, okay, I don't quite see the connection to the rocket ship. Can you explain that to me? He's not just going ahead and explaining that. He's giving other people the opportunity to explain it. This isn't to say that you shouldn't explain stuff. You can, but you should try to explain stuff in a way that gives other people a chance to express their ideas as well. One more thing, notice in this conversation, the comment was resolved, and then it had to be reopened. One thing that you want to keep in mind, just like parting words here, try not to resolve comments if there's more to say. You don't actually have to resolve the comments at all. It probably makes it easier for everybody to see the comments if they're all laid out here, Because if someone wants to say, has anyone commented on thermal energy, they can always click on that bar and all the comments related to thermal energy will show up here. You can also go up to comments, in this case, in the upper right-hand side of the screen, and you can see all the comment threads for everything. If something does get resolved accidentally, you can reopen it by replying to it here. So again, keep your eye on these look-fors and the CogSchool rubric for contribution. Keep your eye on these suggestions. Encourage people to use their notes, ask good questions, and try to make sure that you're responding quickly to make these conversations as excellent as they possibly can be.